This is the exam review for semester 2. The subject is biology for grade 7. We started off semester 2 by learning about the nutritional needs of chlorophyll plants, and we said that there are 4 needs of chlorophyll plants, and these are water, mineral salts, carbon dioxide, and light. We then talked about the importance of root hairs, and we said that the root hairs are involved in the absorption of water and mineral salts. We said that the root hair is a cell, and absorption of water by the roots is related to transpiration. So the water is absorbed by the roots and water is lost by the leaves, and the loss of water occurs in the leaves. So the crude sap is the water and mineral salts found in the soil, and it circulates from the roots to the stems, then to the leaves, and then to the petals. The conducting vessels, which is found in the stem, this is where the most of the crude sap is found. Then we talked about the production of organic matter. We said that to test for organic matter such as starch, we use the iodine test. The iodine test is yellow and it turns dark blue in the presence of starch. Plants produce starch during photosynthesis, and for photosynthesis to occur, we need sunlight. So how do we test for starch? We cover part of a leaf with a black tape. We put the plant in sunlight for 24 hours. This is for photosynthesis to occur, because the process of photosynthesis produces starch. We then remove the leaf from the plant. We put the leaf in hot alcohol. This is to remove the green color of the leaf. And then we put the leaf in the iodine and observe the result. The part that is yellow does not have starch, and the part that turns dark blue is the part that contains starch. Now we will do the questions in the exam review. Question 1 says, choose the correct answer. The conducting vessels of the plant are the organs of translocation, are the organs of absorption, absorbs the CO2, stores the excess of starch. So the conducting vessels are found in the stem, and these are the organs of translocation. How does the crude sap circulate? Upward towards the leaves, halfway to the stem, downwards towards the roots, or none of the above. We said that it goes from the roots to the stem to the leaves, so it's 2A. Transpiration is the release of water vapor through the leaf, is the release of water vapor through the stem, or is the uptake of water. Transpiration is the release of water vapor through the leaf. Crude sap is composed of water only, water salts only, water mineral salts, or none of the above. Crude sap is composed of water and mineral salts. Question 2 says, the experiment below is done to compare the action of gastric juice on different sizes of meat. The conditions are shown in document 1 below. After 1 hour, the large piece of meat in tube 1, so here is tube 1, becomes smaller, while the small piece of meat in tube 2 disappears. We've got the temperature, we've got the time, so these are really important. So the first question asks, give the name of the digestive gland that secretes the gastric juice. The gland is called gastric gland. So it's gastric gland. Second question says, what is the variable factor of this experiment? And it is the size of meat. So what is changing? The size of meat. Then it says arrange in a table form the conditions and results of this experiment. You have to draw the table yourselves, but remember it has to be closed from all sides. So we've got tubes 1 and 2. Here we've got tubes and conditions. So first we write food, then we write gastric juice, then temperature. Remember, always put units, then time, then results. So first in tube 1 we've got meat, or we can write large piece of meat or big piece of meat or just meat. So we do have gastric juice in here, so we put a plus sign. Temperature is 37. The time is 1 hour. And the result is becomes smaller. Becomes smaller. In 2, we've got a small piece of meat. Here we've also got gastric juice. The temperature is 37 degrees, also placed for an hour. And here is the disappearance of meat. We have to write a key. So we need to say what is the plus sign, and the plus sign means there's presence. So there's presence of gastric juice. We always have to write a title. So the title says it's the table of conditions and results of tube 1 and 2. Tube 1 and 2. And then it says analyze the obtained results. What can you conclude? So looking at the results, I can conclude that's mechanical digestion. Speeds up. chemical digestion. Question 3 says mineral salts are indispensable elements for the normal growth of green plants, but we have different types of mineral salts. One of these mineral salts is nitrogen. In order to understand the effect of this mineral salt, we performed some experiments on green plants that are summarized below. So we've got plot A, and the conditions are water, light, carbon dioxide and mineral salts. So plot A has all of the mineral salts, and the results is that we have large green leaves. Plot B has water, light, carbon dioxide and the absence of nitrogen, so it's got all the mineral salts except of nitrogen, and that has large yellow leaves. So it says compare the results of the two plots. Remember, we compare results, not conditions. So if you mention conditions, you will lose marks. You always have to compare the results. So we say pot A has large green leaves. Compare means we have to write while, okay? So we have to, when we compare, you write while. Pot B has large yellow leaves. What conclusion can be made from this comparison? Nitrogen, so nitrogen is important for the growth of plants. So the next question says, in vascular plants we have two types of conducting vessels, the xylem and the phloem vessels. The xylem vessels are very fine tubes that are made of a dead plant cells. The xylem vessels transport the green sap from the root through the stem and up to the green leaves. The main factor which helps the green plants to transport the green sap upward against gravity is due to the presence of an upward pressure called root pressure. So it says, pick out from the text, where does the crude sap circulate? So the crude sap circulates. Here it says the crude sap circulates from the root through the stem and up to green leaves. So we write the crude sap circulates from the root through the stem and up to the green leaves. Then it says, what is the main factor which helps in the upward movement of the crude sap? So this is the root pressure. We always answer in full sentences, so we say the main factor which helps in the upward outward movement of the crude sap is called root pressure. Now it says indicate the pathway of the crude sap. This is using our own knowledge. So it's roots, then stem, then leaves, and then the petals. How does the water get released from the leaves? Water gets released from the leaves by a process called transpiration. Transpiration. Question 6 says to identify the effect of the quantity of carbon dioxide of the growth of radish plants, experiment below is performed. So this is the experiment here. First question says, referring to the figure above, fill in the following table. So the temperature in degrees. So here it says jar A has 20 degrees, jar B has 20 degrees, and jar C has 20 degrees. Water and mineral salts. So the green arrow shows that there's water and mineral salts. The green arrow, so this is kind of like the key. So here we've got a green arrow, here we've got a green arrow, and here we've got a green arrow. So water and mineral salts, so there's presence in jar A, presence in jar B, and there's also presence in jar C. The amount of CO2, so here it says air without carbon dioxide, so that's 0. This is filled in for us, but it says here air containing 0.03%. Here air conditions are 3%. So jar C is 3%. And we can see that the results, we have weak growth for jar A, important growth for jar B, and very important growth for jar C. Next it says interpret the obtaining results. So we say placing 0% of carbon dioxide leads to weak growth. Placing 0.03% of carbon dioxide leads to important growth. Placing 3% of carbon dioxide leads to very important growth. So with interpret, we have to analyze, and we've done that, and we then have to indicate. So this indicates that growth occurred in jars B and C. B and